This is one of the best courses I have done, REBT in particular. Of course, I have done TA, that was also fantastic, and Kharkov, but I think this is the best that I have done. And in fact, I'm looking forward to more courses from Heart to Heart. I want to do everything that Heart to Heart offers. Considering REBT is such a well structured, well crafted program,
It's been a very well crafted program,
structured in a way that it did not feel extensive at all, and it blended like quite seamlessly. We were able to go from the lectures to the practicals and the application. It just changed my entire outlook.
It actually gave me a boost as a movement therapist itself, because when I came out fresh from the oven, I was totally clueless how to reach out to an audience which was completely, unapologetically, they used to say, "Ye to sab bakwas hai."
This journey has been so healing and liberating, the REBT journey.
I've learned so much.
After I did the first course with you, I was kind of addicted. I was kind of hooked on, and that's the reason that I've reached the end of this journey.
I've really enjoyed it. It's helped me accept my good, bad, and ugly, given me lots of insight. I like the format. It's very, very intense.
In my personal space, I've moved from a lot of insanity to sanity, from a lot of turbulence to a lot of calmness.
From the personal counseling to the creative workshop, to the TA course and the anger management, I have been like self-discovering myself throughout this journey, and REBT was a kind of final nail to that journey.
Doing the counseling courses that I did with H2H were like a pivot for me. I have been an entrepreneur and a technology person all my life, and I wanted to do this ever since I was a 17-year-old actually. So for me to be able to do these courses and to be able to bring some of these skills in practice in the current work that I'm doing in the social sphere is absolutely a dream come true. So thank you so much. I'm just grateful to the Lord above to have been given this opportunity to be taught by someone like you.
Throughout the 3 courses, there was like a lot of self-reflection happening.
I had always thought REBT was like really tough. The course was amazing, but this is the first time, ma'am, I looked at the Bhagavad Gita in a very different way, and I'm so indebted to you for that. I tell you, I'm so indebted.
There is so much you have given, and every time it's almost like Bhagavad Gita. You read every time, and every time something new pops up.
Because of REBT, I understood it so easily that I felt, why the hell didn't I do it all these years?
REBT is one practical solution to our day-to-day life problems. Whether it is something as small as getting annoyed with something that has happened to you, or something as big as an exam that you have your week.
All I can say is that to all the 90 participants here, we get out of such programs as much as we take from it, and you can see that my voice is full of emotion. So thank you once again. This is the 3rd program that I'm doing with you, ma'am.
Every day it's become REBT day for me now. Every day, if there's a should or a must in my head, or I'm like, I can't do this, then I know the IBs in my head, and I've become like an active rebel against my own IBs.
I don't think I have ever felt overwhelmed like so much in my entire life. I'm just like, oh my god, now I see my self-defeating behavior and patterns a lot more clearly. And honestly, ma'am, you are one of the best teachers, trainers, mentors, and guides I've ever encountered in my life.
It is so intense and so focused. And initially, when we were bombarded with all the assignments, I was like just completely going haywire. I'm like, what is happening? Like, never done a thesis, never done a life case. And then, but the most importantly, you and Dr. Rajal, you guys were so supportive and so encouraging and not expecting perfection from us. And the best part of it was the REBT on self. That was really an eye-opener. It was very difficult to do, but it was an eye-opener.
I think with, ma'am, you radiate love, and it's such a pleasure. Everything, I think right from every program has been so unique in its own way.
So it's my 3rd course with you, and each course, every course has been a real pleasure. Just looking at you, the way you conduct yourself, ma'am, there is so much to learn. I think besides the program, just having a trainer like you puts all of us in a very good space, because I guess, at least for me, I learn more just looking at you. The subject comes later.
The magic of Dr. Minnu, I guess.
I did REBT with you. I don't think I could have
gotten as much out of this course with any other trainer.
So you're magnetic. You're absolutely magnetic personality. You're a ideal in my life. You're so natural as a person. It's unbelievable. And so nourishing as a person. You're unbelievable at your work.
From a teacher to a teacher, probably the best I've come across.
You're very humble and compassionate, and you are an excellent teacher.
Credits go to you, ma'am, just for making some of these things so simple while they seem so hard at the face of it.
The concepts got so clear. Almost all situations I have started thinking rationally because of this course.
Practically, it's just given me so much, and that smile of yours, ma'am, that is so contagious.
कि अगर हमारे में कुछ खराब भी है ना तो ऐसा लगता है हम फिर भी perfect है.
After doing so many workshops and courses, I really wonder how you look always fresh and enthusiastic and excited, like it's your first workshop or your first course.
I've seen you switching between so many sessions and absolutely fresh in the next. So that's the mindfulness.
The little things that you come up with, the advices, the analogies, the things that you say from your experiences, even that has helped us to see a new perspective.
I realized that to be a Sherpa, you can't carry baggages. You have to unload yourself, and only then you can. So that's, if we keep on carrying baggages as we are dealing life, it's not going to help us in any manner.
You define everything so clearly, what to do, how to do, everything was defined so well by you.
You've taught us that the counselor is as effective as he lives. And I think you just display that every time with everything that you do, the way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself as a teacher. It's so inspiring.
You have so much of knowledge and so much of experience.
Every single word that came out of your lectures is priceless.
So you really model what you teach. So all the attitudes that you talk about, or everything, the concreteness. When I was going through the manual while preparing for the exam, although the time was less, I never felt like rushing through it because every line was making so much sense. And even the assignments, I found them very difficult at many point of times, but I felt that after completing them, I could see the relevance, the importance, and what you wanted to teach us through. So it's a very well crafted course.
You have been an amazing trainer, and sir, who has been non-stop support to you and the entire course. Hats off to him and to Aman sir.
What helps is that we have you as a teacher who kind of helps and guides us through these difficult moments where we are stuck for what we do not know, and you help us find those answers within ourselves.
It's been a very personally satisfying journey, and now I understand why you say that do it first if you want to counsel someone else.
The course in itself is so profound, so profound. I use it for everything. A little tiff in the house with my husband, with my daughter, I sit down with pen and paper and draw the ABC model with them.
I've started implementing it with myself, and it's working wonders.
I take out the whiteboard and I teach my daughter, see where you are operating from, where I'm operating from. So I'm using it so practically, ma'am, all the time, and I'm enjoying the journey.
There were like 80 to 90 people being so vulnerable and putting themselves out there and holding the space for each other. And the way you held that space, Dr. Meenu, was what made it special for me.
The community of the rest of the people on this course and the sharing, that's been great as well.
So it's been very difficult and overwhelming, but I'm happy that I did it now and that I have to force myself to view things differently.
It's been a roller coaster ride. And, on the surface, it looks, it's very easy. These are like common sense things and, we all know it. But believe you me now that, I've written my exam, I just feel I might even want to do it again with you.
Completely transformational journey. And all thanks to, ma'am for those wonderful lectures.
The practical knowledge that I've gained has been absolutely insane. I feel so much change in me. I'm I feel better. I'm content with myself, which I think after a long time I've felt it.
You always give inspiring, words, some of the stories, and it's not dull. It's never dull. It's always interesting. There are anecdotes, stories, quotes, lovely things that you share. In fact, those beautiful songs, rational songs, that idea was so nice. So I really like you as a teacher. I admire you, and I, wish that people get teachers like, really, and people will be so happy.
You've taught us today, we can go and help other people tomorrow. But I still feel that, it's very rare to find someone who can help the way you do.
I would want to keep coming back to you again and again. I think that's an excuse.
When we sit through so many sessions, we get tired saying, oh my God, this is going on for so much time. But we don't see that in you. We don't see that, you're just patient, you're listening to everybody. If somebody is nervous, you give them time. So it's something that we really aspire to.
You are such a reservoir of knowledge. I mean, there is no end to it, and we want to keep learning more and more.
The homework assignments were magical.
The assignments were structured in such a way that the REBT concepts really gelled in us. It really got embedded deep in us.
I was going through the notes and I was like, oh, I know this. I understand this. So, that's just because whatever we were taught, our teachers were good enough for us to make us understand.
The manual, REBT manual, I think it's a manual for life that you have created. So simple and so easy to understand. And I think it's like, I'm just looking forward to imbibing this in my everyday life.
When I started reading through the material though for the assignments, right, I found that it was structured in such a way that the important concepts were standing out very clearly. The same thing was repeated in many different ways, right? So that gave you the words to understand without exactly remembering the words. You could picture it in your head and you knew what the whole thing was about.
How painstakingly you have made these notes. You're actually trying to, spoon feed us. That's the level you have gone to, and I don't see that kind of commitment in many, course materials, because yes, the concepts will be there, but then how do you explain it to another person? So I think your course material is like my Bible on REBT, because I guess I'm going to be referring to it before I take on any case.
Really appreciate the video lectures that we saw and like the cases that we actually saw happening in real time, because that kind of made me put myself in like a therapist's shoes and actually learn what's going to happen when I see a client.
REBT has been a roller coaster in many ways, because I have felt genuinely very uncomfortable in the first few sessions. And then after that, when I loved it and I actually started doing it with my own self, I was very chilled out today.
It has really broadened my horizons. It has changed the way I think.
REBT was like a intense program, lots of new words, lots of vocabulary. It took me a while to actually get through to it, but I see the preciseness of it and the effectiveness of it as I move along in my journey, as I'm helping people that I want to help. And it's very effective. That's all I can say. It's very effective. That's all I can say.
Every part of it is so detailed, so well formulated that it went very well with my personality as a teacher, as a person. I like to structure things well, and so I can apply it also in my life with people around me and also in my work. So that was the best part of it.
A person who does not have a psychology background like me, I did not have any problem in following what you were trying to explain at any point.
And you have been a fantastic trainer. Your bank of knowledge has been so good. Your way of explaining things has been fantastic. And it's just been a pleasure to learn.
I love your positive assertiveness. I love your unapologetic, sharp approach as a teacher, that you do not compromise, and that is why we also go up, raise our bar and our standard.
You are passionate, not just about your work, but I also see that passion just glowing on you, on your face all the time. And that reflects, you're mindful, you're passionate, very kind as a person, firm. It's not that, you will just give in. You are firm, you're assertive, and you're a great role model for us.
And I'm listening to you itself is a therapy. I don't know, I can keep on listening to you for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, and I never feel tired at all.
And I'm really glad that I've been associated with you, and hopefully you continue with more courses so that I keep on being associated with Edge to Edge.
The wisdom from the lectures and the sessions was great, but where I learned more was from listening to people and their cases. And I used to be online morning, afternoon, and evening, just wanting to listen to people. I mean, their presentations and their cases. And I think I learned the maximum from there. And I think one more thing I noticed about myself, I mean, something that sort of shifted within me, is that I've learned to be a little kinder to myself. And I'm definitely kinder to my mother and my son. And for me, if that is possible with the 2.5 months of sessions, for me, that is a huge shift.
Ma'am, thank you so much for changing our lives.
I just genuinely hope for the world that there are like even more Dr. Meenus for everybody to learn. Because I mean, how much we learn.
This has been a beautiful journey, ma'am. I'm so happy. I'm so glad I'm on it with you.